is our Doctor Strange experience. I am actually in a shockingly good mood today. And you know why? Because I took today off work to see this movie. Oh. But yeah, we're gonna go see Doctor Strange, and then we're gonna go home and eat something else. Okay, so earlier this morning, we saw Doctor Strange, and I'm gonna review it. I actually took the whole day off to see this movie and hang out and not be stressed out. It was a fucking shockingly good day. It's what happens when you play hooky to watch movies. And let's go down. Okay, so right out of the gate, let me just say I really like this movie. I will probably see this again. I mean, let's just get that out of the way. All in all, Marvel's like the new Pixar. I hear this all the time. I heard this 2010. This is pretty well established. It's like this. Say you heard that Pixar was coming out with a movie. They're doing an animated feature. And that's all you know. It's coming out sometime next year. And then so someone tells you that and you go, oh, okay, I didn't know that. And then the next thing I ask you is it going to be any good? Being fully aware that you didn't even know about it till they just told you that. And they could go, yeah, probably, because it was a safe bet to say so. Pixar in general makes excellent movies. In some cases, really excellent movies, frequently. Often either breaking new ground with story or something like that, or, the animation is breathtaking, and there's a good story, and the characters are very interesting, and it's very heartwarming, or it takes on some new idea that animated features didn't really do before, or something like that. Or it's, at the very least, pretty good. I mean, when Pixar comes out with a good movie, it actually kind of gets panned a little bit, simply because they've set the bar so ludicrously high. Marvel's the same way. I mean, is the Marvel movie going to be any good? Of course it is. Even the ones I didn't really care for. I didn't like Age of Ultron as much, for example. I thought it was a little too cartoony. It just wasn't that great. It wasn't as breathtaking as... But that's a whole nother thing. My point is, even the ones that aren't that I don't think that are that good are still very enjoyable. Like, I'll still watch them repeatedly. They're great. They're fun to watch. They're great movies. This is no exception. Is Marvel finally going to make the bad movie? Well, they didn't in this case. This is another good movie. They've done another good movie. Now, how does this rate as a Marvel movie is an interesting question. Because some people are saying it's okay. Like they're saying, it's okay. Whereas people like me, just to get this out of the way, I like this a lot. Part of that, I have to admit, is because I'm very coded for Doctor Strange. If you give me a choice between a science guy and a magic guy, I'm going with the magic guy. That's how I am. I like magic guys. I liked The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nicolas Cage and whoever that other guy was. I thought it was great. I like magicians in the modern world. That's just fun stuff, and I'll enjoy that and watch the hell out of it. But as far as anything else, I mean, all things being equal, I could see where reviewers would run into problems with this, saying, well, because once again, the bar has been set very, 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 very high. Because while their okay movies are still very good, their best movies have been so good that if it doesn't at least meet that, it's considered kind of a letdown. I think this movie was excellent. I think Benedict Cumberbatch was awesome. I think Tilda Swinton was really awesome. Mads Mikkelsen needs discussion. Because
I'm hearing this ongoing complaint about this movie that it doesn't go into any new territory. And there were some complaints that the humor, which was unexpected, kind of detracted from the drama. And I disagree with both. One hand, I thought Doctor Strange was very... Yeah, it is very much the Iron Man story. Kind of. But it was much deeper. Like, in Iron Man, to do that sort of, hey, I'm an arrogant guy, but then I became a good guy, the way it was set up, the way it was cast, the way it was directed, and the way it shot opposite the action, there really wasn't any way to have that sort of introspective, well, this is the kind of person I was, this is the kind of person I am. I think it's... as far as breaking new ground, because there were other characters, like, this was an evolution of Marvel. We knew to have a whole bunch of characters at different points in their own individual arcs, to have them all have individual arcs. So when Doctor Strange does come to that revelation moment, there is that whole scene where he has someone to talk to. Yeah. So he's not just talking to the camera or something stupid. It feels more natural when he's explaining what's happening inside of him, because how else do you know, as a viewer, what internal stuff is happening to the character other than by bouncing off other characters? So I thought that was different, and I really liked the way Marvel has evolved.
The next thing that needs to be discussed is the thing you went to see this movie for, and that's for the effects. I will say this, and this I think is an important part of this review. We ended up seeing this movie in 3D. Normally I avoid 3D films because it's complicated, but I used to get migraines. Now I don't anymore. I don't get headaches anymore, except when I don't have enough coffee. And I assure you, that's very, very rare these days. So I didn't want to get... Because 3D movies, on the other hand, will give me headaches. Will give me even trigger a migraine, and I don't get those anymore, and I don't want those anymore. So I don't watch 3D movies. Here's the thing. Some movies, though, are so enhanced. On one end, let's go through this a little bit. 3D movies. On one end of the spectrum, you have movies where it's added after the... It's just added as a gimmick to make more money for a movie. I saw... I think it was Clash of the Titans, the new one, and it was pointless. The 3D was absolutely pointless. It was added on after the fact. All it did was make everything darker and hard to see. It was unnecessary. It added nothing to it except for generating headaches. Don't see Clash of the Titans in 3D. The other end of the spectrum, you have movies where it's an integral part of the film. Coraline, actually, the movie based on the Neil Gaiman novel. Coraline, good example. Tron, Uprising, the second Tron movie, the one that came out relatively recently, like a few years back. The 3D added so much to it. Even Avatar, which story-wise I was a little... James Cameron's Avatar I didn't think was that fantastic story-wise, but visually the 3D added quite a lot. It was very pretty. It made the otherworldliness more otherworldly. The effects for the technology made the technology seem more amazing and futuristic. It added to it. Doctor Strange is a movie where the 3D adds a lot, because this movie is trippy as balls. I'm watching this movie and I'm clawing at the air like a schizophrenic, like holy shit. It just, oh man. The 3D added a lot to this, and this movie is visually fucking amazing. It's a big part of what makes this movie, and the 3D enhances it. Now, having just said that, there is kind of a downside to that, and that's that the 3D did so much. It made an incredibly busy scene busier, because now you have different things at different depths that are all in focus. You can focus on one thing or another, and it made scenes a little more confusing. And they were already kaleidoscope, Inception, Escher, nuts, just butt nuts, crazy. This movie was a real treat to watch. And that adds to its replayability, I guess is the term, where you'd want to see it again just because, like, I missed everything because there's so much damn going on. Oh, what else is there? One thing to mention, the way this movie fits into the Marvel Cinematic Universe is interesting because, and I've talked to, obviously, my housemates who I saw this movie with a little about this. In the background in one scene, we do see the undestroyed Stark Tower, which in my mind says that the opening scenes of this take place prior to the first Avengers movie, which at this point was 2012, 13, a little while back at this point. And then he goes off, obviously, he goes off to a monastery to learn stuff, and that takes a while. So the very last scenes in this movie take place very, very recently, like now, like November in 2016, chronologically most recent, which is interesting. That makes this movie span quite a bit more time than any of the others, with the possible exception of Captain America, obviously. Neat little touch, but we really don't. Obviously, I'm not spoiling nothing in this thing. This is going to be spoiler-free, but I will say the post-credit scenes, we do see other characters, because you knew that was going to happen. That's no surprise. A little bit on the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward. I get the impression that Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be in the forefront anymore, and that makes sense. He's been in there, he's been with it since 2008, I guess. Quite a few years now, and he's got other stuff he wants to do. I can't keep affording this guy. So, but you do need kind of that very personality-wise capturing sort of guy, either to be in the movie or to drive the movie or to bind things together. I think Tony Stark as Iron Man acted as one of those kind of anchor characters, the anchor character. And I think Phase 3 forward, at least for, this and the next phase, I think that's going to be Doctor Strange. That's just speculation on my part, but I think that's been set up, and I think that's going to happen. In essence, kind of replacing Iron Man with Doctor Strange, and let's not kid ourselves, replacing Robert Downey Jr. with Benedict Cumberbatch. Which is fine. Which is a fine substitution. I think Robert Downey Jr. will still be in movies, just not as the main character. Like maybe he's a lot more of a walk-on than he has been in the previous ones, where he's way more front and center. That's just my thought about what the setup for this is. Why this movie is actually kind of important to see, because if you're into the whole franchise, the mega franchise where you have multiple movies with multiple things going on simultaneously, a keystone character like that is going to be important to follow. So there's that. Other than that, let's just do the ratings. I've given this part a bit of thought, because I was thinking about this the whole car ride home. As you saw, I was sitting there in the car thinking about this movie, and my rating is usually, what are the odds you're going to see this movie and not like it? And very low. Because if you're a Marvel fan, you're going to like this movie. It's a well-made movie. If you like action movies, it's an action film. If you want something new and unique, it's got its visuals. Even if, like I said, I've been hearing people saying, it's a little tired, the whole thing. This is just Iron Man with magic. Even if that's the case, Iron Man did not have, acid kaleidoscope visuals. Now, did it? We've had, other stuff. Villain-wise, this was a good film. So, I think this might, once again, no spoilers. I might do a spoiler-ish review later, but no spoilers here. But I think this movie was a good step towards fixing Marvel's villain problem. I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I think this is a good step in the right directions on that front. Odds you'll see this and not like it, less than 1 in 10. Less than 1 in 10. Maybe even 1 in 20 at best. 1 in 20 at best. Let's just go with that. 1 in 20. Just because even if like I said, if you think this is just a rehashing of old stuff, it's visually great, it's fun to watch, it's a great film by itself. Even if it's not that amazing next step, it's still a very good film and you will enjoy it. Oh, Lord. Okay. I have snoring cats, and I can't help laughing. Last part. Would I see this movie again? Shit, man, if I can, I'm going to see this tomorrow. I was going to see it last night, like the midnight showing if I had been able to. I wasn't, but I saw it this morning, which was as soon as I could. And I will see this again, once again, because I'd like to catch the visual stuff that I missed the first time. The 3D was a bit much. I saw this with 3 other people. Out of the 4 of us, only one of us kind of got a headache. So 1 in 4 people seem to get a headache watching this 3D. Because it could do that. Just be aware. You might just want to watch this normal, not 3D. But if you do see a 3D movie this year, this was the 3D movie to watch. I can't think of anything else that would warrant it. And that's my review. That's really all I want to say. Anything else I want to talk about? There's a fair amount to talk about in this film. It would be spoilers, and this is a spoiler-free review. No spoilers. So that's it. Maybe I'll do another spoiler-filled, rich one, simply because, once again, I'd like to talk about this movie some. It was really cool. I think that's it. Like and subscribe if you're inclined to. I'm out.